You're watching Good Morning Nigeria on the network service of the NTA. Up next is Newspaper Review.
Yeah, thanks for staying with us. This is Newspaper Review. Unfortunately, our reviewer, Chukwudi Okoli Ugbaja, is stuck in traffic.
Stuck in traffic, you know. A lot of our cameramen are not here too. Civil servants will not find it easy today going to work, but I hope that the roads
I guess
will
it's
be
because
open
of
very
the
soon.
yes. planned protest and the blockage of the roads.
Yes, for security reasons, to protect us Nigerians.
So how did you come this morning?
I live close, so it's just...
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And you just walked and crossed over the road and just came into the studio. Okay, let's go to the papers. While we wait, maybe Mr. Chukwudi will make it. I'll begin with the Daily Times newspaper. In the Daily Times newspaper, above the masthead, some clarifications from the Ministry of Education. English, mathematics compulsory for all O-level candidates. That's coming from the federal government, a clarification on it. And below the headmask, IMF urges Nigeria to reallocate 1% of GDP to growth sector. Details on page 2. And Oshibajo ECOWAS election observation mission to Cote d'Ivoire. He leads that observation mission to Cote d'Ivoire. That is on page 2. Nigerians will stop seeking treatments abroad soon. That's coming from the Deputy Senate President, Barrow Jibrin. Details on page 8. How they're going to do it, we'll need to find out. And INEC issues notice of Anambra governorship election. So find it on page 2. Governor Muthwang lauds Gowon as peace builder at 91. Details on page 2. Reforms, improved security spur $8 billion energy investment. That's coming from the CBN Governor Cardoso. You find the details on page 11. Let me quickly go to the Leadership newspaper, and above the masthead of the Leadership newspaper, Zamfara government reinstates 103 sacked teachers. Details on page 18. Nigerians don't want coups, say Afenifere Middle Belt Forum. You find all the details on page 4. And below the masthead, let's focus on tackling hunger, not defections. As coming from the Oyo State Governor, Makinde. Details on page 23. And the side piece of the picture story, government terminates Port Harcourt Aba Road contract. You want to know why? You go to page 14. Katsina, Kano, Jigawa governors forge regional alliance on power reform. You find the details on page 20. And strike, lecturers, federal government resume talks over 2009 agreement. Find all the details on page 7. And the picture story you see there, a motorist tilts while attempting to navigate a narrow and muddy section of the road at Goro area of Idiroko Expressway in Ogun State yesterday. At the bottom plate, PDP convention, Anyawo alleges forgery, petitions DSS orders. Details on page 23. And Tinubu hails ex-Punch managing director Ademola Osinibi at 70. You find the details on page 14. Mr. Ademola?
Okay, thank you, Jemai. This I have the Blueprint newspaper, and just above that nameplate, we have admission requirements, English, Maths compulsory at all level, federal government. And just below the nameplates, how late Kwara governor, CO Adebayo rejected £500,000 bribe by Ate. That's from Ate. That's page 6. CBN to withdraw 650 billion naira from system through TBS subscription. And we have Sports CAF Champions League, Mamelodi Sundown, Wallop Remo Stars, 5-1. November PDP convention in sworn affidavit. Anyao says, my signature forged in document to INEC. I never said APC will win 30 states by 2023. Idris clarifies. Then we have free Kano protests, stay off Aso Rock, environs, police, NSCDC 1. Federal government declares correctional center red zones. MSMEs, top priority contributes 50% to GDP. Shetima, Dangote urges Nigerians to patronize local products. And equity market hits new high as investors gain 1.27 trillion naira. Actually, Juma, I'm interested in the fact that the government still needs to give more clarification to these English maths compulsory.
Exactly. There's a lot of confusion around that.
Yes,
you know.
yes.
Is it, do you need to write it during your WAEC or NECO, but it is not, maths is not required for art students going to the university? We need to know about that. Parents are quite confused over that issue, and I think there should be more clarification by the Ministry of Education. And one interesting,
I think what the statement is saying is that the Director of Press and Public Relations, Folashade, said the new education does not exempt any candidate from these course subjects. That is, the subjects are compulsory, that is English and maths, but rather introduces a more inclusive and flexible approach to tertiary admission requirements. So which means that maybe for admission into tertiary institutions like universities, polytechnics and all that, you don't really need mathematics.
If you're an art student.
If you're art students. But it's a compulsory subject for students in secondary school, especially those sitting for O levels, you know, to take.
Yes, to take.
All right.
And one other interesting issue from the IMF that I'm interested in is urges Nigeria to reallocate 1% of GDP to growth sectors. What sectors are they talking about here? Let's go to page 4 to see what it is they're talking about. Is it roads and all that? Because I can see that government terminates Port Harcourt Aba road contracts. You know, some of these contractors just collect more mobilization money and just go home. And, you know, this has been going on for a very long time. That road is something else, really.
Yeah, it's been going on for a long time. But if there is no compromise on the side of those who are involved in, you know, giving out the contracts.
Yes.
I mean, we won't have a repetition or a reoccurrence of such.
Of revocation of
because if you give someone a contract and you already paid some money, you want to ensure that that contract is, you know.
Yes, it's delivered and on time. But it has been going on for ages, and I think the minister is taking a proactive step to ensure that, are they going to return the mobilization money they collected?
Yes, they will return if the job is not done.
Yes, they have to be held accountable. Well, I see that the sectors that the IMF is talking about is like productive sectors like education and infrastructure. So the spending on education, they say, have been on the decline in relation to its GDP since 2012. That is alarming. They say education is the bedrock of any society, and if there's a decline in allocation to education, then there's a serious, you know, issue here, and that it should be looked into, actually.
Yeah, then the problem in the PDP is still brewing. I mean, it's just like it's never simmered down, and with the secretary now saying that his signature is forged. So I don't know how that convention in November is going to look like.
And November is just around the corner, and the crisis keeps increasing, and the, you know, what they call it,
because
crossing carpets.
Yeah, Samuel Anyanwu is alleging that the forgery of his signature in a letter notifying the INEC of the planned convention. Yeah, that's another big problem.
Well, the good news is lecturers and federal government are back on the table now, you know, to talk over the 2009 agreement. 2009 is a long time, 16 years actually, and the agreement has still not been, finalized. Well, we hope that things get better. And Sokoto, talking about education too, Zamfara government reinstates 103 sacked teachers, bringing them back.
Where were they sacked in the first instance?
Why were they sacked in the first instance? That's the million-dollar question here. Let's find out why they were sacked. Maybe it was by the previous government or before this one. They said a total of 103 teachers who were removed from the state's payroll about 10 months ago have been reinstated. Well, the teachers were among 780 civil servants whose salaries were stopped in January following a statewide verification exercise. I think they were caught not because they were not,
Anyway, let's talk about this free Kano protest and stay off Aso Rock and Varans police. This is already disrupting activities, especially at these at the FCT here in Abuja.
Well, we can see from our studio here, and Mr. Chukudi, I'm sure he must be so frustrated. I hope he hasn't left home yet, but if he's in that
he has. He's stopping traffic.
If he's in that hold up, I can imagine the nagging and the complaining, and the venting. Well, I hope it gets over very soon so that people can come back, can come to work, and
not only him, but what about other economic and social activities
that has
around
come
the
to a
town that will be disrupted? But anyway, I mean, protest is legal, but then when it disrupts, other activities, that is when you begin to get worry. Anyway, I hope that the protests will be conducted in a very peaceful manner. All right.
The Deputy Senate President is saying that Nigerians will stop seeking treatment abroad soon. I hope so.
That what?
Nigerians will stop seeking treatment abroad.
Who said that?
Deputy Senate President.
They have to lead by example.
I hope so. I pray so. Even here in Nigeria now, medical expenses is so expensive. Just buying paracetamol now is like something else, more or less going for tests and all that. We hope. The health sector needs a total overhaul.
That is the solution to
that is the only solution to it. This government has been trying actually, but when we think about it, in the center, yes, but what about the primary health care? All that.
I guess the government is working, and it's just that the problem in the health sector is huge.
It's huge.
It requires both the federal government and also the private sector, to team up and tackle the problem, challenges in the health sector. But it has to be that, look, when they restrict, especially our leaders, from going abroad to seek for medical, treatments, then let's all of us stay in here and make sure that our health system is in order.
Exactly.
So.
And there's good news from the CBN governor. Reforms improve security, spur $8 billion energy investment. That's in Nigeria. But are we feeling the impact of it? Do we have constant power? And all that.
Well, so far so good. The power sector seems to have
collapsed for a while.
And in our sector, we've been having like nothing less than 22 hours.
At times 24 hours without...
well, it's a good development.
It is. And, good, more, like President Chilibo always says, more good things are coming on the way. And
there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Exactly. It's hard, the policies are tough, but... if we can bear it,
we shall survive.
No pain, no gain.
Inshallah.
All right, Juma, we have to,
take a break now. When we return, our conversation will begin. Don't go away. It's on the electoral amendment.